letting people in. Welcome everyone. If you can mute yourselves, just it really helps with the background noise. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. If you could put in the chat, hey Frank, good to see you. I see Molly and Trisha and Jeff. And if you can mute yourself, just so we cut down on that background noise. And then also, if you could also put in the chat where you're watching from, that would be great. I would love to know that. I'm in the Chicago area. I'm not sure if everyone knows that or not. I'm in the western suburbs, so I'm about 30 minutes west of the downtown area. Again, if everyone can mute themselves, I hear a little background noise.
Let's do the 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. Central on the 6th. That works.
Yeah, we're going to do that. I'm going to mute. That's the thing about being the host. I have ultimate control. Ha ha ha. All right. And then for bonus points, if you are willing to share what you have going on this weekend, that would be excellent. Okay, great. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. All right. And then we are also streaming to my Facebook group too, the Career Clarity Club. And some of you may know about it and some of you may not. You are welcome to join. It's my place to provide you free resources. Think of it as like my digital room or whatever, okay? And I do daily posts in there, quotes for inspiration. I personally love quotes. And then I provide other resources like this, like streaming into that Facebook group. So I know social media, Facebook especially, is not for everybody, but just like anything, it has its pluses and minuses. But I think one of the good things about Facebook is the groups. So that's why I'm still using it. And I encourage you, if you feel you need some resources, you know, our Facebook group is great to join. And then we can always get you information on that too. My assistant, Jarrell, unfortunately is having problems joining this. So I'm just going to have to fly solo, but we can do that. Also too, I'm assuming, since I haven't seen anything in the chat, that my sound is okay, that you can all hear me okay, and you can all, yeah, so great. Thank you, Trisha. I got that thumbs up, so that's awesome. I appreciate that. Yeah, because unfortunately, when I've done these, I have had some technical issues in the past. So it happens. It definitely happens. Okay, so I have my presentation. I'm going to go ahead and share that with you in the next minute. Again, if you just hopped in, if you could share where you're watching from today, that would be great. And then also, if you feel comfortable sharing what your weekend plans are, that would be great too. My weekend plans, you know, after last week, I don't have any specific plans, which is really nice because last weekend with the holiday was super busy. So I'm looking forward to a quiet weekend. So that's good. That's very good. And then also to do some, just to be outside because we have really nice weather here. My air conditioning is so high. I did turn it down in the house, but this is why I have a sweater on. I feel a little bit goofy with the sweater on, but oh well, it is what it is. All right, so let me share this with you. Sorry, I was having a little bit of technical issues here. Sharing my screen with you. Here we go. Oh, and we do have more people joining us as well, which is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing what you're doing. All right, awesome. Here we go. All right, and then I really want to use your time well. I know all of you are really busy. I appreciate you deciding to be here too. So I'm all about making sure that we're getting the best use of your time. So I'm actually going to be shooting to try to wrap this up around the 45-minute mark. And that way you can get started on your action items because you're going to have some action items too. All right, great. So again, the whole purpose of this is I want you to get out of hiding because I feel too many people when I look at your profile that you can't be easily found, okay? And I need you to be found for the right opportunities, for the opportunities you want to be found for. So I'm going to help you with that And I did hear a little bit of background noise, so I'm just going to do some muting here so we have that. But yeah, so that's really the focus. I want to give you some helpful advice and pointers to really help you search engine optimize your LinkedIn profile, all right? Because that's what it's all about. Think about it this way. When you go to Google and you do a search, recruiters and hiring managers are doing the same thing on LinkedIn to find people for their openings. You want to come up at the top of the search, okay? Because think about it, when you do a Google search, how often do you really go past like maybe the top 2-3 results? Really not that often, right? So we want to optimize your LinkedIn profile, and we want to make sure that you are fully communicating. Yes, I can talk this morning. Fully communicating your unique and valuable brand. That's what it's all about. I do want to say this too. I want to encourage you to maybe possibly connect with the other people on this call too, because that's what is so powerful about LinkedIn. It's wonderful. And just with connection in general, I say connecting instead of networking. But I want to encourage you to connect with other people on this call. And then if you are willing to share who you are and what you'd like to get out of this class, that would be extremely helpful as well. So again, I was saying networking is good, but I really like to think of it as connecting, because when I hear the word networking, I think of computers and hardware, and it just really sounds kind of cold and not very fun, but connecting sounds way better. Okay, so let's start here. LinkedIn has right now, and I just Googled this last night, but I think probably back in October, it was like 100 million less, I want to say. But right now, LinkedIn has 930 million profiles on it. That's a lot. Okay. And all my marketing experts out there and sales experts out there too, okay? I want you to take your marketing and sales expertise hat, and I want you to apply it to your job search, okay, to finding your next role, okay? And think about your audience, your target audience, okay? So your target audience is that recruiter or hiring manager who is working on an opening that they need to fill. So put yourself in their shoes, okay? You're trying to find someone out of 930 million profiles, okay? So you've got to help them. You've got to help them. And we start with the keywords. What keywords, if you're that recruiter, you're that hiring manager, you need to fill this job, what are the keywords that you'd use to find the best person, okay, on LinkedIn? Because you're on LinkedIn, you're trying to find them, okay? When we think of keywords typically are nouns, all right? Although I do think adjectives are very important in your LinkedIn profile. I think they are an integral part of communicating your unique, one-of-a-kind brand. Oh, and you know what? I just realized I did not hit the record button in Zoom, so I'm going to go ahead and do that just as
this meeting is being recorded.
I do have my other recording started, but still. So sorry about that. It just popped in my head. Okay, so adjectives are good in communicating your brand, but really right now we're going to be focused on nouns, okay? So, and this is regarding your job titles, function, and industry, okay? So again, job title, function, and industry. And with those things, I want you to spend time thinking about what's your brand. And again, marketers and salespeople, what makes you stand out? How are you different from the competition? We need to celebrate our differences, because that's what makes us who we are. as Oscar Wilde said, one of my favorite quotes is, be yourself, everyone else is taken. So yeah, so that's key. So it's really getting clear on your brand and using your keywords, to be found. Okay. All right. So you may want to know what's searchable in my LinkedIn profile. Okay. We're just using my LinkedIn profile as an example here, but which may not be the best since I am a career coach and I have my own business and everything. But however, I have the same parts of my LinkedIn profile that you do. So that's it. Okay, so the headline is probably out of all three of these the most important because it's right at the top of your LinkedIn profile. It's right there at the top. So you want to make sure your headline especially, and the way I describe the headline is I think of it as basically the summary of your brand in words. Okay, so again, it's a summary of your brand in words. It's not a picture, it's words. So if you had to summarize your entire brand like in 2 or 3 sentences, that would be your headline. Okay, you don't have to do sentences though. You can do keywords by using this vertical line, which is used when we do Boolean searches on Google. All right. But yeah, so you could use 2 or 3 sentences. You could use a bunch of keywords or phrases and separate them. You could use both, but the headline is searchable. All right. The headline is searchable. So with it being searchable, then we want to make sure that, we're focused on those keywords that I was talking about. Okay. And then your about section. Your about section is telling your story. Okay. Your about section is telling your story, your brand story. And really, it shouldn't be, we can use this too. We can really leverage, and I'm going to tell you more about this, but big picture, it communicates your brand story. Okay. And also too, it compels them to reach out to you. Okay. So think of this in 2 steps. Okay. Number 1, to be found, to come up in search and for you to be, at the top of the search. So they click on your name and they see your name. Okay. Then part 2 is you want them to linger on your profile for at least a little bit, and your call to action is essentially for them to reach out to you, to contact you, if they feel that you are a good fit for the role. Okay? And this is also assuming that this is a role that you want, that you would be a good fit for. Okay. So the about section, but again, the about section is searchable along with the experience section. Okay. So these are our 3 things that we're more focused on today. But I am going to I will touch upon briefly the other components of your LinkedIn profile, okay, because they are important. They're more important in that step 2 of compelling them to reach out to you because it's your brand. They're so compelled by your brand that it just really, they want to call you. They want to talk with you. So, okay. Okay, so here's some tips for you to help you in really getting those keywords in your headline, okay, and in your about section and in the experience section. Oh, and Frank, you raised your hand. Yes, here, go ahead and can you get off? Go ahead. Oops, I can't hear you. Frank, I'm not hearing you. I can't hear you. Can we have someone else go off of mute and
The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain.
okay, so I could hear you.
Yep.
Thank you for saying that. Frank. Yeah. Do you mind putting your question in the chat or, because we did have someone else go off mute and I could hear them. Yeah. We'll let you put your question in chat and we'll get to that. So my first tip is, I think it's important for you to have a target job description. Think about it this way. If you're shooting an arrow at a target, you need to be able to see it clearly, right? You should have a target job description or two that you feel represents what you're going after, what that next step is for you, okay? So that's really important. And then from that target job description, you could run it through a word cloud. I like word clouds. I feel like word clouds are helpful little tools because when you run it through the word cloud and you can run your resume through a word cloud, you can run your LinkedIn profile through a word cloud. You can have the keywords jumping out at you. Okay. And I use these are some of the tools that I use when I'm working with my clients. Okay. And I did put Chat GPT down here. I'm not sure. I can do a whole other training on Chat GPT, and I think I will be doing that soon because I find it is a valuable writing tool. It's not substituting for my writing because I love my writing and I want to write, want my voice to come out. But Chat, think of Chat as a combination assistant, AI assistant, and almost like one of your friends, like kind of helping you write. So yeah, so that's what this tip is. Okay, now I'm going to check the chat. Okay, there we go, Frank. So sorry for the sound here. Okay, in the about section, you mentioned about wanting the reader to linger. If we have a Calendly link or recorded presentation, should either go on top within that section. Yes, I would say the Calendly link should go on top, especially that. I also like the featured section because the featured section is LinkedIn's, because we all know social media platforms, especially LinkedIn, they want us to stay on the platform. They don't like those links that take you out of the platform, okay? So, but the featured section in your profile is LinkedIn's way of saying, okay, this is the sandbox where you can put your external links. We're okay with this, okay? So this is your featured section. And so if you have a recorded presentation, the featured section is a great place for it. I have seen people put their Calendly link also in the featured section. So yeah, I would say put the Calendly link in the featured section and the about section. Put it at the top of your about section and put it at the bottom of your about section. Repetition, and this is one of my tips, redundancy and repetition is okay because remember, your LinkedIn profile is a landing page. Think of it that way, okay? And that's why we have those two steps. Number one, we want you to come up in searches that recruiters and hiring managers are doing on LinkedIn, okay? And we want you at the top of the searches and we want them to click on your profile. But now what do you do? Because they're at the landing page. This is why you can't just have, we have to make sure that your landing page, your LinkedIn profile is communicating your brand the way you want it to, okay? And that you're getting those opportunities that you want, okay? I talk with too many people who tell me, yes, Christine, I have people reaching out to me on LinkedIn, but they're for the opportunities that I don't want. I'm not interested in these. So that's not going to work either, right? So, Frank, thanks for that question. That was really good. Okay, and then, Bill, let's see what Bill said. I used ChatGPT to help update the about section. It was useful. Yes, you do have to revise it to make, yes, you absolutely have to do that. It can be kind of corny That's a good adjective, the way that the voice of ChatGPT is corny and just kind of goofy. So yeah, so that's definitely, yeah. And then Bill, the question I have about adding Calendly is being overwhelmed with salespeople trying to sell me something. It can be wordy too. Yes, and that is one of my tips because we don't have unlimited time. It's my second tip. It's a good segue. We don't have unlimited time or unlimited space rather in our about section just to go on and on. We do have field limits in the headline and in the about section and in experience. But for the most part, and that's where I work with my clients too, to really help you to be clear on what you need to communicate. So so that is important. Calendly, I thought with your calendar link though, at least, and I don't have Calendly, I have a competitor to that. I use Acuity Scheduling, but I can modify my link so it's shorter. I thought, so you should be able to do that. Maybe see if you can do that because you want it to be clear and succinct. And if it just says schedule call, schedule call with Bill, you know, schedule Bill conversation, you know, whatever, you can do that. So yeah. All right, great questions. Keep them coming. I like them. Very good. Okay, field limits. So we have to, but I have to say, even though we have the field limit in, you know, these fields, the headline, LinkedIn is very generous. They give us a good amount of room. And I really want you to use as all the room that LinkedIn gives you in your headline. That's important. Okay. So, so use all the room. I've heard people say, well, I don't want to stuff all these keywords in my headline. Of course not. You're not just stuffing keywords. You're picking the keywords that represent your brand and how you want to use your brand in that next role. Okay. Because it's the intersection of your brand and what they need, you know, what that role needs. So that's what's so important. Redundancy is okay. So this focuses more in your about section and also in your experience section too. Like you can refer to your company multiple times. You can refer to the industry multiple times when you're talking about things. You can, that helps because the more you have those keywords in your about section and in your experience section, and then you also have them in your headline, okay? So you won't have the same word multiple times in your headline, but if you have it in your headline and in your about section multiple times and in your experience section, that's good. Like let's say you were the CMO, you know, you have your title and then you're as the CMO of Apple, you know, in the technology, and then like refer to it. So like really using redundancy to help you with those keywords to come up in search. It's okay. It really is. You can often when I see about sections, they read exactly like a resume, and it should be, you can start with the language in your resume, but it really should be more first person. I prefer first person. Now I have seen some about sections written in third person, and that's okay, but I want it to be less formal. I want to get to know you because you're not a robot, right? I don't see any robots out there. So that's good. And that you are your brand. You are not a robot. So the more we can get to know you as a leader, as an executive, and just be less formal, I think that's a good thing. And then you're more approachable that way too. Okay. Also too, I really like it when people put these paragraphs of specialties and like industry experience. They're just little paragraphs. They're more like little summaries at the end of their about section. So, so you can have keywords, like a little paragraph of keywords that are your specialties, right? And you can have it labeled specialties. And then also too, I'm just keeping an eye on the time too, want to make sure I keep on moving along here. Industry as well, your industry experience. So you can have, industry experience includes, so you could do that too. But again, just some things to help you to be coming up in those searches. That's important. Okay, so I'm going to check the chat again because I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, yes, creator mode. Creator mode, very good. Yes, yeah. In fact, I'm going to share. So one of the bonuses that I'm going to share with you at the end of this call is a LinkedIn blog that an edition of their blog that I thought was very helpful. And, I really want to, so I'll share that with you and you can check that out. But one of the recommendations on that is to have to be in creator mode. Okay. And I know too, definitely when you're in creator mode, I think you can, sometimes people have problems adding that featured section that I mentioned, but, and there's a little bit of confusion on it too. I think some people feel that you have to be in creator mode to have a featured section. However, I've seen LinkedIn profiles that are not in creator mode that have the featured section. So, but that's just a side note. I like the creator mode. I really do. I think, and especially if you are a marketing executive or sales executive, I think it's a good thing. I think that you are held to a higher standard with your LinkedIn profile. Okay. And I know I do have some non-marketing and sales folks on this call, which is totally fine. It's not a problem. But especially I'm calling it out because especially for the sales and marketing leaders here, I think you should have creator mode. Okay. And I'm happy to talk with you about it further too, but I think creator mode is really nice. So, yeah, so something for you to consider. Other things in your LinkedIn profile, other things for you to keep in mind. Okay. Because again, remember it's in two parts. So the first thing is for you to be found, to be easily found by the recruiters and the hiring managers, because they have those millions of people on LinkedIn. They need to find you. So we talked about what is searchable, but this is part two, because if you don't have a headshot or if you don't have a banner profile, I mean, marketing and salespeople, that we see pictures, we judge people, and it's a powerful way to communicate something. So when you have a really good profile photo that comes across well, that's signaling to me that you are confident, you're successful. So we can't discount those pictures. We can't. And so if you don't have a banner photo, especially, this is where I see people not having a LinkedIn banner photo. Think of it this way. It's a free billboard to communicate your brand. And it easily and simply communicates your brand. We think in pictures. That cannot be denied. We think in pictures. And think about your favorite brand right now. Okay, what is your favorite brand? Are you an Apple person? Do you love Harley Davidson? Think about what comes into mind and what are the feelings that you feel. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So, and two resources that I will give you right now, and I will put them in the chat for you before I forget, because I don't want to forget. Okay, so you can get free feedback on your profile picture at photofeeler.com. Okay. Photofeeler.com. Now they're going to want you to pay them something. They're going to try to get your money. It's any good functioning website with it. So, but you don't have to get the feedback. Okay, you can get free feedback on your photo. So if you're not sure about your photo, if you're just like, I don't know about this one, go to Photofeeler and get some feedback on it. Okay. The other, not everyone would know about Canva, but Canva is a free resource too, to help you, especially with your LinkedIn banner photo. Okay. So, if you're not sure about that, you can check out Canva. You could, if you're a reader, another idea is you could take a picture of your bookshelf with your favorite books, and that could be your LinkedIn banner. I saw someone do that and I loved it. I thought it was great. A standard one that many people do is they do the skyline photo, okay, of where they're living. So, but again, I'm talking about these things because this is part two. Like once you come up in their search and they click on your profile, all right, and they see the headline and they see your banner photo and your profile photo, okay, those are going to have to compel them to go further down and read your story, your about section, and your featured section. So these are all the things that we're trying to get them to reach out to you and to really feel, this is an interesting person. I want to have a conversation with them. Okay. The experience section, recommendations. Recommendations should not be discounted because they're someone else's perspective of your brand. And think about it, when you are buying something online, if you're buying something on Amazon, I mean, is there anyone who like checks out the ratings for products before you buy something online? I know I do. I look at the ratings. So think about the recommendations as your ratings. So it's important to pay attention to them and to look at them. That's really important. And then also too, posting. If you can do any posting, you don't have to do daily posting, but if you can do posting of like once a week, and that's an opportunity for you to share your expertise. Okay. There's a lot of lurkers on LinkedIn. Okay. And I'm not trying to label people in a negative way. You're a lurker if you're sitting back and you're just taking it in. Okay. We need more people to step forward and share their expertise. And when you do that, you get noticed. So what's your opinion on this latest marketing strategy? Okay. Maybe a company made a huge marketing mistake and it's just like it's on Twitter, it's all over the place. What's your perspective on it? And it's even better if you are willing to share a different perspective. If you're not going along with everybody else, if you want to be the devil's advocate or just, offer a different opinion, that's a really good thing to do. That's a great thing to do. Okay, so now I have an assignment for you, okay, because we have about 10 minutes left, and I want to give time to answer any questions that you have. And then also, I want to pose this question to you. What changes are you going to make? What are you thinking right now? Okay, I want you to go back and look at your LinkedIn profile after listening to what I've had to say. And if you can make any changes right now or in the next hour, and you could just start with your headline. Start at the top. Okay. What are some keywords, that you could use, and think about your brand. So we've got your brand, and then we've got the target role. Okay. So you should have some clarity. And when I do my career clarity call with people, I will ask you to rate your brand clarity and also to that clarity in that next role that you're shooting for, because that impacts your career success. It truly does. It impacts your career success. It impacts if you're doing a job search, how quickly you're going to land. It makes a difference. Okay. So so I want you to, with those things, thinking about your brand and what you're targeting, just start with your headline because it's the easiest thing to tweak. All right. Think of your headline and what are the changes that you can make with that? What are your changes to make? So think about that. And then I would really, I want you, my call to action to you is to schedule a career clarity call with me. Number one, it's free. Okay. Now, some of you have already done a career clarity call, so I'm not asking you to do it again. Don't worry. However, and Jarrell, we should do this. Jarrell, if you could put, so Jarrell is going to put the link to the career clarity call in the chat for me. And then if you've already done this call, where we talk one-on-one and I asked you those questions and I talked about your LinkedIn profile, then let's do a follow-up Q&A. It's much shorter. We're touching base. And it's like, okay, what's changed since we talked last, And so really to help you. I meant to say at the beginning of this call too, is that, I'm not going to be convincing you to buy my coaching package. Okay. That's not my marketing strategy. Okay. My strategy is service. Right? I want to be of service to you. And I want to be of service to you, that see the value of working with an expert like myself. And I can do it in a variety of ways. I want to meet you where you're at because you may not need all of this. You may need some help with this or with that, with your resume or your LinkedIn profile, or maybe preparing for an interview, whatever it is. But I would like to help you and I want to be of service. And yes, I do have my own business. So I want to be of service and provide value so I can be paid for that, obviously. But I'm not going to be convincing anyone. I mean, it has to be a win-win situation for my client and for me. So anyway, Jarrell is putting the link for the career clarity call.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Jarrell. And then Jarrell, can you also put the link for the Q&A call in the chat too? That would be great because okay, excellent, wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And then yes, the career clarity call is 30 minutes. That's right. The Q&A call, if you've already done the Q&A call, I'm not trying to be complicated. So, but if you've already done that 30-minute call with me, then let's take the next step. Let's keep on being in action. Okay. And that's why the Q&A call is only 15 minutes, if that. Okay. And so that's only, again, if we've already done the full career clarity call where I give you my feedback, my unvarnished opinion on your LinkedIn profile. Okay. So I'm going to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. And then I'm going to ask you those questions, those clarity questions. Okay. And we'll talk about that in your career and where do you want to go? Okay. And that's all complimentary to you. Okay. But I want to help you with that since we are connected, since you're here, since you're in this class. I really appreciate that. So that's the career clarity call. But if you've already done that with me, let's keep on staying in action and let's do a touch base call, that Q&A call next week. And that way we could talk about, okay, what are you struggling with? What's the next steps? How can I help you? If I can't help you now, how can I possibly help you in the future? Maybe I have some free resources that I can give you in the meantime. So yeah, so that's what we can do. Also too, let me go ahead because we have 5 minutes left. I'm going to stop my share, and I want to share that LinkedIn blog with you because that was really good. And I just want to make sure that I grab that for you. So let me do that. And then I will also share,
Being recorded.
this was good. And it gives you like 20 things. Okay. So that's that. And then let me just go ahead and share my screen quickly with you. So you can see these. Oh, wait. I was having problems. Oh, actually, I might have shared. Yeah, I think, yeah. Sorry, I shared. That's okay. So the link that I put in there is actually the one that has the sample profiles. Okay. This link, yeah, that's old, and it does have some merit still, but so grab this one, grab this last link that I gave you because it says blog in the link. It's profile best practices. That is the one. Okay. Now, when we go to, I'll tell you what's wrong really quickly with the profiles here. So I'm going to share this with you. Here we go. All right. So yeah, there's good bits and pieces here, but they have people in here who have the generic LinkedIn profile. Okay, this is blah. No. And then also too, she's only sharing her titles and that's it. Okay, so that, but the about section is good. Okay, so I have to say, I really feel like the emphasis of this article was more. Now look, so this is neat how he has the different brands, okay, that he's been involved in, and I've seen this before. So this is another strategy for a LinkedIn banner photo. Okay, so that's good. That's a good example. And then this is interesting as well. Now this is a much better headline because he's got more things in here, and it's got the vertical bars to separate it. And then see, but this one is blah because it's not telling me much. It's very blah regarding her brand.
Hey, Christine, what do you think about pronouns? The use of pronouns?
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think, if it's something that you want to do,
Yeah.
that's fine. And then another question that I'm asked too, when people are in job search mode, is if they should have the circle, the open to work circle. And there's mixed opinions on that, but most recruiters will say yes, they want you to do that, to use that. So I agree. I think you should use that. So, but again, at the end of the day, if you're not comfortable with something, then don't do it. I mean, it has to be authentic to you and to your brand. So yeah. So anyway, oh gosh, the time just flew, and it was so good to see many of you. And so please set up a career clarity call with me if we haven't done that already. And then if we have, book that Q&A call with me. Okay, so we can keep you in action and keep you moving. And then also I'm going to have Jarrell do a special landing page for all of you that has the recording of this and then some other resources for you. And it also will have the link to doing a career clarity call with me, or a Q&A call. Okay. So think of it as a resource page. So it's your resource page from doing this. So we're going to work on that today. We want to get it out to you. We'll share the recording, but we want to keep you moving along, and then reach out anytime with questions. So I hope you found this helpful, and I'm so grateful that you attended. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye, everybody. Take care. Have a great day and a great weekend.